See the snow crookshanks? Yeah. Okay, today we're going to look at the tower's leg irons. Whoa, look at that. There we go. Let's put this down a different way. Okay. Alrighty, I have 9 pairs of Tower's leg irons in the collection. This is not one of them. It seems like as long as the Tower's company has been producing handcuffs, they've been producing leg irons. And the earliest models were, of course, the ones with the bottom key, known as bottom key. These took a little flat key. I have somewhere in here. And I have 2 pairs of them. This one's in pretty decent condition. You can see the keyhole. And this other one of the cuffs bows has been cut through or broken. You can see. But just like the handcuffs, these were adjustable. And later on, they went to, of course, like the double lock model, with the barrel key. The links connecting them, kind of interesting, because they're quite round. This one here, it's weird because it has this. It must have been broken at one point, and this is like obviously an early repair. Okay, but you can see what they would normally look like. This is a weird pair that are like, they got gook all over them. I think they were coated to prevent rust, and at one point in time, the middle post was taken out. So you can see straight through. So again, these were also altered, and I don't know if you can see, they're actually, there's something scratched in on them. I'm not sure if you can see that. But actually, it says Genesee County. I'm really sorry you can't see this, but it actually says Genesee County van. So I'm assuming that they were used for transport in the Genesee County. You know, the van that would take them to. Oh my God, look at all that white crap everywhere now. Damn it. Genesee County. And you can see Towers double lock on there, and of course, just like on the handcuffs, all the little patent dates that they stacked one on top of each other. That's for the double locks. This is a weird set because the bows were cut down. And they have this swivel attachment put in the middle. It's kind of hard to hold the camera and handle the cuffs at the same time. I'll show you the Tower's bottom key. There's the keyhole. Now the problem with these things, these were the earliest of the designs, just like the handcuffs. And just like the handcuffs, there's a problem, and that is the tail of the bow. Sometimes if you tighten it too much around the prisoner's, in this case, ankles, it's really hard to manipulate the key in there, okay? So, naturally, they moved on a few years later to the barrel key and the keyhole on the face of the cuff. What I like about these is you can see when I bought them, I mean the brown patina and everything, but what I like is when you push the bow through the cuff, look at how shiny it is. So you can see what it used to look like, so it's like a before and after right there. I think that's so cool. That's why I don't clean them the rest of the way. If I want a pair of plated, you know, that doesn't have the patina, you just go out and buy them. But anyway, I'll get to them in a second. Because what we're going to do is look at the difference between the bottom key and later model. Seems like just like with the handcuffs, the bottom key lock case is smaller, considerably smaller than later on. It's actually kind of heavy. There's another view. Oh, also the bottom edge of the bottom key doesn't have that more appealing slant cut. It's more rough. Notice the end and compare it to how all the towers are made later. It's more machined, more streamlined. You know, it's not as crude. And these are interesting because they're stamped USMC, which stands for, of course, the United States Marine Corps. It's very obvious that the Marine Corps had a contract with towers, not just because of this one example here, but I seem to come across these things all the time in both handcuffs and leg irons. In the past year, I must have seen 5 pairs stamped USMC. Right there. There's a pair really they're totally destroyed. They're just not even good wall hangers at one of the antique shops downtown. And it's handcuffs stamped USMC with the date 1903, but they're like rusted shut, and I think one of the bows have been cut open. It's, you know, and they want like $300. Come on, really? This is one that's more plated. Same thing, towers double lock. Stamped right there. There we go. And just like the handcuffs, on the back of many examples, this is very faint. I mean, right here near this clevis, they would stamp all the patent dates, which you probably can't see, which I'll show you in a close-up, don't worry. It's neat how towers would stack up the patent dates as if to tell imitators, you know, hey, we're on top of stuff. You know, we're on top of our paperwork and everything. But, as we know, other companies produce towers style handcuffs with the cooperation, as far as we know, of the towers company, like Union Hardware, and also Balco did leg irons, BALCO. Unfortunately, none of my leg irons are actually stamped Balco, but they do exist, where you can actually see the stamping of Balco. Let me show you. You notice that each chain link has a curve to it, like it's bent like a lounge chair. Okay, and Balcos were completely round. Now we get to the Frankenstein of my towers leg irons, and that's these guys. Okay, the bows have been cut way down, as you can see. Also, it's a completely different chain, 2 links in, and they put a swivel on it. I have no idea why, but it does say towers double lock. So I have no idea why they're smooth operating. You know. And the leg irons, towers leg irons have the same problem as towers handcuffs. And that is that you can look at 15 pairs and it'll have 15 different sizes of the post and clearance. That's something that just is, you know, it's something with the manufacturing with towers, where if you buy a pair of leg irons and a key works in it, it won't work in the next pair that you buy, because it'll either be too thick or too thin or something with the clearance here. And that same thing plagues you when you have towers handcuffs. So that's just something that's a little, I don't know what you would say, it's a little peculiar to the towers company. So, and I'm not gonna pick up those white ones because the crap gets everywhere. But let me see. Here's the round links. Compare that to the bent. You can see the difference. So that leads me to believe that this might be a Balco. Okay, but again, and I looked with my loop, and there is no stamping on here that says Balco, unfortunately. And it's similar size lock cases. Everything's pretty much identical except for the chain. I like to think that I have a pair of Balcos. How's that sound? Okay. Obviously, if it was stamped, it would be much, much, much better. Tower's leg irons are just bigger versions of Tower's handcuffs. The mechanism's the same. Everything's just, you know, pumped up in size a little bit. They operate the same pros, same cons. You know, they're not swing through, obviously. They were made during the exact same time period. In fact, all along, that, you know, they're probably one of the easier to find leg irons, vintage leg irons that you can come across. You know, they're also pretty heavy. Actually, I've worn them on several occasions, and they are actually, you know, kind of uncomfortable, especially around the ankles. And it's also a pain if, when you put them on the ankles, you either have to have the keyways facing up or down, you know, and the smart people would have them facing up because it's just easier access to the key. And that just goes to show, again, why that key configuration is a lot more efficient than that one. Yeah, so that's it for this edition of Off the Cuff, and I'll see you again next time.